guys know what's going on, don't you? A day in the shop, that's what's going on. If you're new here, I'm Jimmy. We're making it work. I'm gonna spend a day in a repair shop with me. Some of you might have some insight to know what goes on in the day of a mechanic, and some of you might not. So this channel is about what I go through during my day, good and bad. It's about learning what goes on in repairing your car. It may be a Ford, a Mercedes, a Hyundai, a Chevrolet, Acura, Honda, Toyota. They all do break, by the way, no matter what brand it is. You can't go by any dealership and see the repair bays empty. Doesn't matter what brand it is. So I take you on that journey with me every day. So let's go do that. Let's have some fun. Let's see if we can learn something, me and you. Stay tuned. Finally got the battery for this monstrosity, so we're gonna go ahead and pop her in there real quick. It won't take but a second. Just get a little snap of the finger. It's easy, man. I am gonna spray a little protectant on there, just to help her live a little longer. I tried to get them to buy this terminal. They said, nope, no more money. Alright, let's see what's next. This one's done. Alright, now that I got his tires aired up for him, I can go back to work. I got to look at this Mustang. She didn't have any money yesterday. This morning, she said go ahead and do the belt and tensioner. I'm going to see if it starts and I can get it in the shop. If not, I'll put a jump box on it or fix it out here. It should be easy. It only pays 0.8, so I'm guessing it's pretty easy. Let's see here. They locked it up out in the parking lot. That's nice. Glad they didn't leave it open. Oh, well, that's not good. There's the belt right there. I guess the tensioner broke, they were saying. Someone else looked at it. Let's pop this here hood. Oh, jeez. There's no way I'm going to fit in there. Oh, yeah, it runs nice. I got no power steering, no. I got no wipers. That's terrible news. Well, terrible is such a strong word. That is not the best news to hear. Where the heck's the wiper switch? You Ford guys know? Oh, there it is. Oh, look at that. The wipers work and everything. 181,665 miles. And it's 2004 Ford Mustang Cream Puff. It's the V6 powered option. You know, just still nice cars. This one's actually not in terrible shape. Fairly clean. There's no food, which that alone gives it a 5. And since it's an 04, I might bump this to a 6. She doesn't have much money, but she keeps her car pretty clean. I like it. I can respect that. Let's get under the hood and fix this thing. Stop talking about it. What do you say? Let's do it. Ford Mustang. That's fairly straightforward. It's like a 50 Torx, I think. Looks, by the looks of it, the compressor's leaking a little dye and refrigerant. Let's see if the parts are here yet for this thing. Alright, the GoPro's acting weird, so I'm not sure if it's even recording right now, but that's the tensioner. And we got a Gates belt supplied by Napa. I'm not sure where this is made. It doesn't say on the box. They're getting sneaky about it now, hiding stuff. I'm not sure if that's even the right tensioner. It looks smaller. Let us see where this thing is made. Because I'm curious, you know, I like to know. I like to know where my money's going. You guys know how I am. This thing doesn't say anywhere where it's made on the box, on the part, nothing. I didn't think you were allowed to do that. It's a Gates tensioner, I know that. Well, we know right away it's not going to work just because of the pulley. The bracket itself is even different. Okay, let me let them know up front. Alright, they found a different part number. Somehow they ordered the wrong one. I don't know what happened, but it's got to come from Orlando. So I'm going to back this out and pull in a sweet 2013 Nissan Juke. Customer says it doesn't have any power. towed in. Nissan hired the Pontiac Aztec engineers. And they said, hey, can you make us one of the ugliest cars ever seen besides the Pontiac Aztec? Of course, the engineers said, hold my beer. You ain't seen nothing yet. There it is. Blocks are complicated. They got two positions. There's two possible positions, and sometimes you can't figure it out. Oh, it runs. That's good. Look out, Joe, I'm coming. I don't want to drive over you. Alright. It definitely does not have a lot of power. It feels like a misfire. It's probably a little rough for you guys. I apologize. And you can't see because the windshield was messed up with condensation. It didn't rain last night, but it sure gets damp. The temperature change causes a lot of condensation in Central Florida. We're going like 45, 50 degrees overnight and 80 degrees during the day. Seems okay. It's got a pretty good misfire. So you take one cylinder out of the four out of the equation and things go wrong. 86,070 miles. About twice the life expectancy of your average Nissan Juke. As far as cleanliness goes, well, you know, they got a kid, you know, they made a little mess here and there, nothing terrible. I'm gonna give it a 4. It's a little messy. Not terrible though. Not where I, oh, uh-oh. Windows don't work. Oh, that one works. That's good. That one works. Just the driver's window doesn't work. So either the motor's bad or the switch is. Let's get the scanner on it, see why that little light is being a nuisance. Service engine soon. Probably a bad coil, something like that. Usually what it is, you guys know the deal. But we'll have to do some kind of analysis to figure it out for sure. Can't just throw a coil on it. That would be silly. In order to scan this thing and see what the check engine light's about, we're going to need the old top-down Phoenix Light 2. And we're going to do, oh, look, there's updates. Uh-oh. First I'm going to look at this vehicle. The update thing, sometimes it's 2 minutes, sometimes it's 15 minutes. We don't have 15 minutes right now, because we got a lot of work to do today. Let's go ahead and get these two talking. And once they've done a little dance, then me and the car will dance. That's just how it goes. 2013. I'll probably do a topology on this, even though it's only an engine misfire issue. I could probably go right to engine. I don't know. What do you guys think? Should we mix it up? Tell me in the comments. Should we mix this thing up a little bit or just do a topology? I'll wait. I got a lot of work to do. Come on. Waiting. All right. Forget it. I'm just going to go in the engine module and we'll see what it says. It's really hard to resist with all these options. I could look in any module I wanted right now, but I'm sticking to my guns. ECM it is. Read fault codes. P0302. My goodness gracious. Let's pop the engine cover off there. Get a look in cylinder 2 with the spark plug. Then we'll move some stuff around, see if the problem moves. Some Nissans will give you misfire capabilities, some won't. It's super handy if it lets me on this one. We'll see. I'll move the coil. We'll see if we can find misfire data and see if the problem moved from cylinder 2 to a different cylinder. You guys might have seen that once or twice before, but sometimes these Nissans. There's two vehicles I try to avoid. That is anything from Europe and Nissan from Japan. It's basically the only Japanese brand I want nothing to do with. I had an '89 Nissan King Cab. It was terrible. Couldn't pull a 12-foot empty trailer. Anyway, let's get under the hood and focus on this one. Focus. Well, Nissan gets the award for flimsiest engine cover ever. It broke, and it broke over here. Just trying to pull it out of the rubber. It's like the flimsiest plastic ever. So I'll have to get my soldering iron and plastic weld that. And I came out here to the coils thinking I would just pop a coil over to a different location. And you guys see what I see? They're in there somewhere. I mean, I don't know. So now I got to charge this poor customer like 4 hours labor to do a coil replacement and hope that fixes it because of the amount of work it would take to do testing. What I will do is I'll bring up the misfire data without doing anything and verify that it's cylinder 2, which it's going to be. I mean, it's very, very rare they flag the wrong cylinder. If it's not sure, it'll do a PO300 random misfire code. So, but we'll go through that and we'll make sure it's cylinder 2. And then we'll let them know it's going to take quite a bit of labor to dig into this thing. 10 millimeter, a couple 13s, some hoses, and then I'll just put a coil in there to test it and see if it fixes the misfire because of the way this is designed. Knuckleheads. Look at that valve cover's puking oil out of it. I'm going to recommend a valve cover gasket too. It's definitely leaking. I mean, you can spill oil around here, but there's oil all over the place. So, 85,000 miles, it's a piece of junk. I know that sounds harsh, but I'm actually saying nice. Nicer than I want. Alright, I got the old flat blade tip on my soldering iron. It's just a Weller. $28 special. You can contact your Snap-on dealer if you'd rather pay $180 for it, but I just went to Home Depot. Got it at Home Depot. We're gonna fix this thing up the best we can. There's only so much you can do when you're working on a Nissan. The Mini Cooper of Japan. I know some of you guys like Mini Coopers too. I know, and there's nothing wrong with that, you know. I'm just saying my personal preference. And we don't have to agree if you like something that I criticize or make fun of, and sometimes I just do it to have fun because the day's pretty boring otherwise, you know. You gotta have a little fun, you gotta laugh a little bit, like they used to in the old days before everybody was so sensitive. You know what I'm saying? All right, you guys probably don't want to see me weld this whole thing together, do you? I got like 3 more cracks to fix. It's hard to see which way it goes too, but I'm gonna finish patching this up and we'll let you know what goes on with the misfire data. Man, I'm kind of sad how I actually just made a short about it. I mean, how do they... It's a 4-cylinder, man. It used to be one of the easiest things to work on. I don't get... I mean, it's not the fact that it's hard for me. Think about what they're doing to their customers. The people who own this car now, instead of being a half an hour to move coils or replace a coil and do a tune-up, now it's a few hours worth of work. So it's costing the customer hundreds of dollars more because of the way they engineered it. But I see a lot of these on the road. I guess people don't mind. Maybe they haven't figured it out yet. I don't know. We're going to look at misfire data. Look at cylinder 2. It's stored already. Let's fire this thing up. I don't want to be sad. I want to be happy. And I just, some things don't make sense, so they get on my nerves. Come on now. M for misfire, that's what I'm talking about. Sometimes it'll be under C for cylinder. Oh yeah, look at that. Nope. C for cylinder. Nope. Okay. Let me tell them up front that we got to do a little surgery to get into these coils. Maybe I'll have them get me a coil. I can take it apart, take a look at the spark plug. If I don't see anything really weird with the spark plug or worn out, I'll go ahead and put the coil in, put it back together and see how it runs. Probably the safest bet is to recommend a tune-up. I gotta look at the maintenance. When does Nissan recommend a tune-up on this car? It'll depend on whether it has iridium plugs, conventional or platinum, all that kind of thing. So I'll check that and I'll let them know what I found. And then we'll revisit this car once we know what's going on with it. This look familiar, guys? Customer said, you know what? I'm tired of waiting. Just put the carpeting in it. I'm gonna come pick it up. Someone's gonna buy it from me as is. So I said, heck yeah. Where's the carpeting at? I think it's in the office. Is the carpeting right? I hope so. All right. So we're gonna take the carpeting out of this and we'll see what happens. I suspect there's not a lot of different carpeting sets for 4-door Camrys. So, oh, I did drop a socket. That's what I'm in the middle of right now. I came to get you guys, make sure you could tag along. I wouldn't want you to miss out. My socket almost gravity checked completely, but it stopped right on this mount. That is nice. Can't let them 10 millimeters get away. Hey, it started recording. That's weird. See the mold in the seats and stuff. Got the damper in here. It's basically not doing anything anymore, I suppose. You can see the windshield's fairly dry, but it stinks really bad in here. So I'm gonna put on some gloves, start taking these seats out. Center console's got to come out, and I gotta go take all the plastic trim. Everything's got to come off around the bottom, so shouldn't be too hard. Take a few hours, I think. They told me they'll pay me whatever I want. They want to get it out of here this week, so hopefully that happens. Let's do it. Well, before we get on that Camry, the parts came in for this mud stain, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this thing like a brand new car, and then we'll make the Camry into a brand new flood car. One at a time, that's what I'm saying. One at a time. This is the perfect job for this right angle impact Milwaukee. It's exactly what I like it for. Now I gotta figure out how the belt goes on there since it was off. There's diagrams. Oh, you gotta have the writing facing out, man. Come on. There's diagrams about it, but I'm only gonna go to those if I absolutely have to. Let's see here. I'm gonna say that this is gonna go down to the power steering, up to the water pump, over to the crank pulley, and then under the tension. Oh, that can't do that. Ah, you know, we tried. Oh, you know where it might go. Let's see here. Now we gotta think. Now we gotta put our thinking cap on. Maybe we'll try around the crank, around the water pump, and down to the tensioner. What do you think about that? The new belts are always shaped like the packaging. However, they bunch them up in the packaging. That's how the belt wants to be for a while, until it's been heat cycled a couple times. Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about that now. We got pulleys over here. We got pulleys over there. Pulleys everywhere. All right. Now, I'll tell you what. She's a tough girl, but I think we won. I'm feeling pretty confident. Let's just get that a little straighter. All right, let's start this thing up. Make sure the belt stays on and does what it's supposed to do. All right, let's see how this thing does. Oh yeah, we got power steering. We're charging. It's got a full tank of gas too. That's nice to see. It doesn't run that great. We'll let it run a little bit and warm up. I'm gonna go start on that Camry. It's doing what it's supposed to do. I think we're gonna do a little time lapse action on this monster. I might be gagging and stuff like that. It won't come up well on regular video, so we'll time lapse it. Before we get back on that Camry, customer at the Juke said, hey, while you're at it, let me know what's going on with my window. The driver's window doesn't work. Remember I mentioned that earlier. So I got my voltmeter hooked up. Red and gray are the wires out to the motor from the switch. I can work the switch over here. It's this one. Up. Down. So this thing's got a bad motor. Unless there's a wire broken between the switch and the motor and the door, which it's unlikely, but you have to check for it for sure. But you gotta take the door panel off for that. So I'll let them know what the motor looks like with a problem. If it is a wire, I can just fix it while I'm in there. So now I'm gonna tell them up front and go back on that Camry. all the drying work we did and all those speedy dry deals or damp rids or whatever, that jute padding is still soaking wet. Soaking wet. Like a sponge. They pull these connectors out. I gotta unbolt the shifter and the rest of the stuff that holds the jute padding down. I thought the jute padding was attached to the carpet. Apparently not. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. Well, that's turned out to be a lot of fun. One of the things I couldn't get is the airbag module, but I got to take it out to do the jute padding. So I figured I'd show you guys underneath the corrosion and stuff coming out of it and what the pins look like inside. Those ones that are black and gray are corroded. So that's probably why his airbag light's on, but we can't get it, I guess, so we're just gonna leave his airbag light on and get the carpeting in. Since he basically is paying for the carpet either way, he said just go put it in, I'll come get it. So, did I say that already? These white mold spores down there have me really concerned, but just try not to breathe while I'm working. These braces are in the way too, but they go up into the dash, like they want you to pull the dash to get the jute padding out. They said that's not going to happen, so I think this plastic hood might have to come out too. Unless it fits over. I'm assuming this comes with the new one because it's glued to it. We'll see. Man, if you guys could smell this. Still soaking wet, like I said earlier. This is why it's not. Where did it come from? I have to say that. I really want to let this air dry a little while. Let me go ask them up front what they think we should do. Okay. But I think it doesn't matter. Well, it does. Just not as much as I would think it should. No time to let it dry. Put it back together. He wants it. He's already got a buyer. Go ahead and throw that carpeting in there at regular speed, and then I'll put it back to time lapse. Carpeting's lighter than the padding, that's for sure. I've got the wires. The connectors are set so that I can pull them through the holes once I get this in about the right spot. Is it backwards? That's terrible news. Settle down now. I had to put the styrofoam back Didn't come with new styrofoam, but it clips in place, so no biggie. I find it best when I do these to just keep going back and forth and letting it kind of fall in place by pulling corners out a little at a time. Whenever I do carpet, I find that if I try to get one corner done and then move, then it's not in the right spot. So this one's molded really well because it's a factory carpet too, so not like the aftermarket one that you get. It's getting close. No big deal. Try to put the connectors near where the wires are going out so I can find them easier. Helps. Good. Seat belts. I definitely don't want to walk on the carpeting now. I was walking on the old carpet, but no footprints on the new one if you can avoid it. Couldn't have gone too far. They're easy to put on last if I have to. You gotta put the gas pedal in. It hooks around this arm and then pushes down into a little snap in the floor. Not easy to find the hole here, but trust me, it's there. Keep searching. I can't get my fingers in the recess, so we're going to start it with tools. I don't like to do it, but you must do what you must. This little cover hides the bolts. Little snap in dealio, and you barely feel it snap, but it's flush, so it snapped. These little harness holders also have carpet clips on them. You just tuck the carpeting in these little clips all the way down. Coming together. I'm not going to get it done tonight, I don't think, but we'll see. The console is so freaking complicated, it's ridiculous. Back in the day, you take 6 screws out once the seats are out or something, and you'd slide the console back. But they decided not to make it modular. It's like an IKEA console. 10mm bolts. This is another one of those erector sets. You guys remember? Anybody over, I don't know, 50 years old probably knows about it. Maybe 45. They were fun. Somebody must have got hurt and sued, so they stopped making them. It's kind of sad, but this harness goes to the top plate. Snap all that in. A little screw up front. I took it apart the wrong order. The top plate's supposed to come off first, and then it makes it a little easier. So, not quite as bad as I thought, but still. Yeah. There it is. Sits in those little tabs. Whew, it lines all the bolts up for you. Seat's pretty heavy too. We go to these back bolts now. The seat's still working. Yay! All that corrosion on the bolts. Same problem as the rest of the car. Clip that in there. My goodness gracious. It's not very, I'm kind of disappointed in old Toyota. This thing's a little bit of a bear. But, just a sign of the times, I guess. They're all doing it. They got to give us high-tech gadgets and fancy features and options, and that makes it more complicated, I guess. I think I got to put this piece on underneath here first. Yeah, I got to do that. Now, if you remember playing with your Legos, you definitely remember that everything's got to be done in order. You get out of order, you'll be taking it back apart. Once you get everything kind of lined up and in the right place, I guess it's not so bad. It's like a lot of things, you know. Once you're more familiar with it, what's the big deal? This just snaps on. At least it's supposed to. Like a little spring doodle thing. Okay, snap that on. Now we got some miscellaneous goodies to put away. Put all this stuff back in here. A guy owns this car, but he let a female employee drive it apparently. I think you guys might, if you're familiar with this car, he let his female employee drive it and told her make sure you put insurance on it, but she never did. She just drove it uninsured. Pretty common thing here in Florida, sadly. Up north, you wouldn't have got away with that. You get to 30 days without insurance, you get a letter in the mail saying your license is suspended if you don't get insurance within a certain amount of time. Like, they give you like 7 days. It's like really quick. They don't play around. They suspend your license. Then you got big problems if you get stopped during an accident. Anywho, I think we're about done with this one. I got a couple more things I want to look over here and make sure all my loose ends are buttoned up. I got to put this A-pillar trim on, but I'm still waiting for that one airbag clip. I'm kind of guessing they might tell me just to slap it on there without it, but the airbag system doesn't even work anyway. But still, I don't feel comfortable doing that. But we'll see what happens with that. They're closing up in there. The doors are coming down. This car's done basically. I'm gonna maybe road test it in the morning, give it a once over. If anything else comes up with it, I'll video it for you guys. So I appreciate you watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure you torque the like button for me. It really helps the channel out a lot. Leave a comment about things I did wrong, things I did right, whatever floats your boat, you know. Everyone's got their own oars, their own boat, their own issues. Hope I see you in the next video, because you're awesome.